The people, united, will never be divided.
We had never experienced anything like this in our community. We did not understand the severity of the event until days after.
When all of a sudden your whole life just gets turned upside down, you can't find the words or the way to control yourself.
We all get a little smarter when things get a little personal with us. That's what helps us identify what are solutions to uncomfortable questions.
I've come to the small town of Morristown, Tennessee, because on April 5th, ICE agents descended upon a nearby meatpacking plant and arrested and detained 97 people who they suspected to be in this country illegally. Some of them are still in custody as we speak in locations ranging from Louisiana to Alabama. It was the single largest ICE raid on a business in the last 10 years. Hi, Ayel. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How many people do you know who have been detained?
My husband, his brother, his brother-in-law, 2 nephews, and my stepdad.
6 family members.
Yes, 6.
Tell me about what that's like.
It's hard when you're spending all your days with someone and then that someone gets taken away and you don't know if he's coming back. I love him so much and I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure that he comes back home to us.
And when you look at your son, what goes through your mind?
How do you tell your kids that their dad was taken away? That their mom was taken away? How do you say that?
This event had a chilling effect on the entire immigrant community here in Morristown. On the day after the raid, local schools reported nearly 600 absences. Many parents were afraid to leave their houses, let alone send their kids to school.
Yeah, my dad, he picked us up where we usually our bus stop. We were like, what's wrong, Dad? And he's like, oh, I'll tell you guys at home. It was really difficult for my dad to tell us since, we're kids and it's really hard. Yep.
And how did you tell them your mom has been taken by ICE?
Mis hijas no estaban dormidas todavía. Me dice, ¿qué pasó? ¿Dónde está mamá? ¿Dónde está? Yo le dije, pues, no está. La tiene migración, se la llevaron. Papá, tú tenías que traérmela a mi mamá, tenías que traerme a mi mamá, me dijo. Yo dentro de mí sentí que se me desgarró el corazón porque dije, pues, yo siendo papá, yo siendo el hombre de la casa, yo podía traer a mamá, pero no podía hacer nada.
And did you ever think that this would happen to you?
Más bien nunca pensé que iba a pasarme esto a mí porque tengo 25 años y nunca me había pasado eso. Morristown siempre ha sido mi casa por 25 años, la mitad de mi vida, y hasta esta vez que me pasó, y esta vez la verdad sí me sentí como amarrado de brazos y de pies.
There are going to be people who watch this who say, you know what? These 97 men and women got what they deserved. They are not here legally and they shouldn't be here. What would you want to say to them?
Everybody deserves a chance to a good life. This isn't just about us. This is about our kids who were born here, who have as much right as they do. I don't think it's in anyone's opinion or desire to see a kid suffering, no matter what.
77% of residents here in this county voted for Donald Trump, who promised to be extremely tough on undocumented immigration. But in the aftermath of the ICE raid, something unexpected emerged in this community. Over $100,000 was raised here to help immigrant families with legal fees, basic necessities, and much more, including an army of local volunteers and advocates doing everything they can to help. Tell me about what's going on here today.
There's some counseling that's going on here. There's some more legal clinics. We're helping some people with bond fees. And then we're also paying some basic needs for some families. And then sometimes it's just consoling. Every day is different.
You've raised $100,000. Is most of that money coming from Morristown and this general area?
Yes, we're in the Bible Belt, and they believe on the biblical mandate or the biblical principle to love thy neighbor. Either they're here and they're helping and they're volunteering, or they're sending in funds. And once they get to meet these families and be involved in it, I've had many people say, I think I made a mistake when I voted for Trump.
Have you encountered people in the community who are like, you know what? These people were here illegally. They need to go.
Yep, they do it behind a screen. So we get a lot of negative comments on GoFundMe, a lot of negative comments on our Facebook page about, they broke the law, and that's the law. With the new administration, We were always on the brink of thinking this was going to occur at some point, and I started just working on that and then thinking about different strategies, like if this occurred, what would we do? And so it was kind of like a crisis planning.
President Trump ran on a platform saying, I'm going to be very strict on immigration and increase ICE enforcement. And 70% of this community did vote for President Trump. How do you think that kind of correlates with what's going on now?
The immigration laws that are in effect were not being enforced. There was some frustration with that. At the same time, for those who are legal, who are here, and who are born here, who are being educated here, who have grown up through the school system here and ready to make contributions to the community, I think we have a capacity to make those lives better.
So you don't think it's a contradiction to support the mission of President Trump and also have empathy for these undocumented immigrants?
We are a compassionate town, and I think it speaks well for the capacity of our community to empathize and respond to that problem, while at the same time you can be one that supports your law enforcement to do the right things.
No más deportations. No más deportations. Veto, veto, veto. Veto, veto, veto.
It's a critical moment for the immigrant community here in Tennessee. Just last month, state lawmakers passed a bill banning so-called sanctuary cities. So can you tell me about this bill that was just passed?
The mass deportation bill, or the anti-sanctuary city bill, is a bill that was passed in Tennessee that would require local jurisdictions to work with the federal agencies. The way that it would likely work is that if somebody gets pulled over by the police and taken in, then there would be a requirement for that jurisdiction to communicate whatever status they think the person has to the federal immigration system.
If it becomes law, we're going to see many more deportations like we saw here in Morristown, but more so we're going to see whole communities lose trust in their governments and not feel safe sending their kids to school or calling the police. So we want to make sure that Governor Haslam knows that families from Memphis to Morristown will be fighting this bill and urging him to veto.
One of the kind of counter arguments is that we need to keep our borders safe, and if people are here illegally, they shouldn't be here. What would you say to that?
So HB 2315 has nothing to do with federal law. It has nothing to do with changing or altering our immigration law. What it does is turn teachers, local police officers, and all government agencies into Trump's deportation force. That's not in the best interest of Tennessee. That's not in the best interest of families here.
What's the best case scenario for some of these moms, dads, brothers, sisters who've been detained?
Uncertainty is probably the key word right now that I would say. Just because everything is up in the air and systems aren't functioning the way that they should, and we're just kind of hoping for the best and preparing for the worst.
I'm back right now at Hilario's house and gonna meet up with him and his 3 kids because their mom was just released from the immigration detention center in Louisiana, and they're about to be reunited. Hilario paid $7,500 in bond money to get his wife out of the detention center. She's home with her family for now, but their fight is far from over. Her first of many court dates likely won't be for a couple months. A long road ahead for her and for many others here.
Ella es mi esposa, la que tanto esperaba yo. Aquí la tengo en mis brazos por fin, gracias a Dios. Es lo mejor que a mí me ha pasado en la vida, ella y mis 3 hijos.